Hi guys! Chapter 4. After school the next day, I looked for Buzzy but I couldn't find him. I took a deep breath, adjusted the backpack over my coat, stepped out of the school building, and headed toward Robino's house. Why? Everyone liked Buzzy's idea about Marple House, so we were meeting at Robin's house to make a plan. As I headed over there, I had a heavy feeling in my stomach, as if I'd swallowed a bowling ball. It was a sunny afternoon but cold. The nearly bare trees cast long shadows over the sidewalk. Robin lives 3 blocks from school, on the far side of Washington Ivan Park. This is a neighborhood of big, expensive houses with wide front yards and tall hedges. Of course he's mean because he's rich. Walking this way meant that I had to pass Marple House. Now I had two bowling balls in my stomach. Of course, I stayed on the other side of the street, but even on such a bright, sunlit day, the big old house hunched in shadow. The shingles were blackened as if they had burned in a fire. Several windows were missing their glass. The screens over the front porch had been missing for as long as I could remember. The air seemed to grow colder as I stopped to stare. I shielded my eyes with one hand and gazed up to the top of the tall house. A flash of light in the upstairs window caught my eye. No! A pale face peering down. Someone in the window. Someone watching me. Is this the Marple House or Robin's house? Does that face look pale to you? No, I didn't think so. Impossible. I blinked a few times. Looked away, looked back up. It was gone. The sunlight had played a trick on me. My heart was pounding hard. I scolded myself for having too good an imagination. It was just my imagination, I told myself. The windows were all as dark as the blackened shingles now. I waited a few seconds to catch my breath. Then I turned and took off. I ran the rest of the way to Robin's house, my backpack bouncing hard on my back. The face in the window lingered in my mind. No, not a face. There's a patch of sunlight. That's all. I ran the whole 2 blocks of Robin's house. It was a huge red brick house with a wide front yard that stretched forever. A high evergreen hedge blocked the view of the house from the street. I started walking up this long gravel driveway that stretched between a gap in the hedge. Up ahead, I could see Robin's four-car garage. Marple House was big, but this house was like a mansion. It even had 2 front doors. I knew his parents were rich. Robin brags about it a lot. His mother is a chemist, and she got rich by inventing some new kind of acid. I rang the brass doorbell on the side. Hey, I must have made kind of hot. Anyway. Haunter Part 2. Because you guys like the Haunter Part 1 so much. Well, everybody just wanted to read the Haunter. The Haunter's probably just such a classical one. I didn't have a bookmark for this. It's best in this I wasn't supposed to say what. And this is going to be an audiobook. So hi. Now all my videos are gonna be audiobook. Some is just like videos. Like you're just watching somebody read. Some I'm gonna make audiobooks because audiobooks get very popular. Don't know why though. Actually, it's like, I do know why. So this is like people don't want to spend my audiobooks are free. How does nobody realize this? Alright, so anyways, let's get to the video. Okay, so yeah. Chapter 4. After school the next day, I looked for Buzzy, but I couldn't find him. I took a deep breath and sorry. It was a sunny afternoon, but cold. The newly built trees cast long shadows over the sidewalk. Robin lives 3 blocks from school, on the far side of Washington, Ivan Park. This is a neighborhood of big, expensive houses with wide front yards and tall hedges. Walking this way meant that I had to pass Marple House. Now I had 2 bowling balls in my stomach. Of course, I stayed on the other side of the street. But even on such a bright sunlit day, the big old house hunched in shadow. The shingles were blackened as if they had burned in the fire. Several windows were missing the glass. The screens over the front porch had been missing for as long as I could remember. The air seemed to grow colder as I stopped to stare. I shielded my eyes with one hand and gazed up to the top of that tall house. A flash of light in the upstairs window caught my eye. No! A pale face peering down. Someone in the window. Someone watching me. Impossible. I blinked a few times, looked away, looked back up. It was gone. The sunlight had played a trick on me. My heart was pounding hard. I scolded myself for having too good an imagination. It was just my imagination, I told myself. The windows were all as dark as the blackened shingles now. I waited a few seconds to catch my breath, then I turned and took off. I ran the rest of the way to Robin's house, my backpack bouncing hard on my back. The face in the window lingered in my mind. No, not a face. Just a patch of sunlight. That's all. That's all. I ran the whole 2 blocks to Robin's house. It was a huge red brick house with a wide front yard that stretched forever. A high evergreen hedge blocked the view of the house from the street. I saw it walking up the long gravel driveway that stretched between the gap in the hedge. Up ahead, I could see Robin's 4-car garage. Marple House was big, but this house was like a mansion. It even had 2 front doors. I knew his parents were rich. Robin brags about it a lot. His mother is a chemist, and she got rich by inventing some new kind of acid. I rang the brass doorbell on the first front door I came to. After a few seconds, the door swung open, and a young woman in a gray and bright maid's uniform greeted me. Your friends are all downstairs," she said. She led me to the stairway at the end of the long hall. As I walked, I glimpsed an enormous living room to the left filled with dark, heavy-looking furniture, and a dining room to the right with a crystal chandelier hanging over a table that appeared to be a mile long. I heard voices as I made my way down the carpeted stairs. "Hey, Sammy, there you are!" Buzzy cried as I stepped into the playroom. I blinked as my eyes adjusted to the bright lights. The walls were striped, yellow and red. The chairs were all crazy bright colors, too. The room would look like it belonged in some kind of carnival. I saw a football table and an air hockey game in the center of the room. Against the wall, Semicool Shannon and Todd Garcia were bending over a Simpsons pinball machine, making it clang bang 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 bang. Summer McGee sat on a purple couch, a slice of pizza on the plate in front of her. Robin appeared from another room carrying a handful of Cokes. He set them down on the table beside the pizza box and grinned at me. "Hey, Sammy." Hey, I murmured. I never been to Robin's house. I mean, he wasn't exactly a friend. And I was having a lot of trouble taking this room in. It was pretty awesome. Buzzy opened a can of Coke and gulped it down. "Guess we're all here," he told Robin. He dropped into a rubbery pink chair. Robin tried to push down his hair with both hands. It bounced right back up. He grinned at me again. "How's it going, Sammy?" Okay, so I remember everything. Basically, like... I'm trying to think. Does the main character have red hair? I know he did. Yeah, Mika does red hair, and I think Robin has black hair. For some reason, those details I didn't remember, so. Robin tried to push down his hair with both hands, and bounced right back up. He grinned at me again. How's it going, Sammy? Okay, I murmured. I don't like it when Robin pretends to be friendly. An explosion of sound came from the pinball machine. Sammy Q and Todd both cheered and slapped high fives. Sammy Q is tall and very pretty, with brown skin and straight black hair pulled back in a long ponytail. She's very quiet and a little bit shy. She wore a white sweater pulled down over a short black leather skirt over black tights. Todd is the class clown. I mean, he's always goofing on everything. He has spiky white blonde hair, weird pale gray eyes, and a scarecrow body. So he has a very skinny body, skinny as a scarecrow. Yes. So he has white hair. Like, white blonde hair is just gray hair, but it's not gray hair. It's like plain, like, white hair. Yeah. He really looks like a stick drawing, even though he eats more than anybody. Yeah, same. People ask why I'm skinny. People say I should be fat. Because I eat like so much, but I'm literally... Actually, it's probably because I work out. Number 1, I work out. Number 2, I pace a lot. Number 3, I walk around the house when I'm reading sometimes. Or watching something. So when I'm chilling, I'm really chill. Like, I'm really chillaxed. He's always tumbling and bouncing off walls and deliberately walking into people. It's like he never stops. He just loves cracking everyone up. So when Mickey turned, seeing me for the first time, and her eyes widened in surprise. Sammy? I didn't think you'd come, she said. I walked over to the purple couch. Hey, I'm into this, I lied. We got the best assignment. Her eyes studied me. Could she tell I was lying? Could she tell I'd almost chickened out and went home instead of coming home? Instead of coming here? I didn't think you liked ghosts and supernatural stuff, she said. Who, me? Who, me? My voice cracked. I guess I got excited because someone actually noticed me. I'm totally into science, I said. And what we're going to do? It's an amazing science experiment. She stared at me. Why do I always sound so awkward when I talk to her? I'm totally into science. How could I say such a stupid thing? Let's get started, Robin said. Better grab some pizza, only 3 slices left. Sam Q opened the box and lifted out a slice. Hold on, I'm gonna go ask how to say this. Hey guys, I'm back. Maybe, like, I would cut out the... I'm going to... Like... Yeah, I'm going to cut out all the parts where I'm talking about myself, but no, I'm gonna cut out the audiobook part so you can see me, so you know I'm saying it and not me reading. So the name is Samik. Just letting y'all know that. The name's Samik. Samik opened the box and lifted out a slice. Todd dropped down on the purple couch and sat in Summer's lap. She cried out in protest and shoved him off with both hands. He pretended to fall off the couch, then sat cross-legged on the floor. Summer rolled her eyes. Very mature, Todd, she said. I mean, really. She shoved the back of his neck. Todd didn't care. He pretty much does whatever he feels like, and he doesn't care what people think of him. When we're in the haunted house, Todd will probably just crack jokes or fall down the stairs to get laughs or do something nutty. And he'll scare away the ghosts. Samik is like the opposite of Todd. She hardly ever speaks, so Samik is a girl name. When she does talk, she has this tiny voice that's no louder than a whisper. She has 3 little sisters, and sometimes I help her take care of them after school. To my surprise, Robin walked over and took me by the arm. I started to pull back. I knew what he was planning, to twist my arm and make me scream. But no, he guided me past the long coffee table to a yellow chair across from Summer and Todd. I saved a chair for you, Sammy, he said. He had a piece of sauce on his chin. I was too surprised to say anything. Why had he saved the chair for me? I found out as soon as I sat down on it. After a few seconds, I felt something warm soak through my jeans. Something warm and wet. Whoa, I jumped to my feet. My butt and the back of my jeans was soaked. I rubbed my hand over the wet spot. It smelled bitter. Reuben, what is that? I cried. What did you do to me? His eyes flashed. Is it starting to burn? I wanted to test out my mom's new acid. Count to 10, Sammy. In 10 seconds, your jeans are going to disintegrate. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. You'll be naked. I do not want to imagine that, please. No, I do not want to imagine that. If I have to imagine a character being naked, but this fact that this is going to be for young kids, I probably don't. But just in case. It's Goosebumps. I probably won't have to. Or they'll cover it up with something. Even in books, I do cover it up still, so you don't have to imagine it. Chapter 5. I let out a shriek. Acid? Really? Samik and Tal leaped to their feet, their eyes wide with alarm. Summer screamed, Robin, you didn't! Robin shook his head. No, I didn't. Of course not. It's not acid, Sammy. I was just messing with you. Then, what is it? I realized my legs were trembling. What is it? Robin screamed. Calm down, okay? My cat had an accident before everyone showed up. I shrieked again. Yo, what? Your cat peed in the chair? He grinned with a toothy grin at me. That's why I saved that chair for you. Someone narrowed her eyes at Robin. You have an evil mind, she said. That's sick. His grin grew wider. His grin grew wider. I know. You went too far, Samik scolded him. You scared poor Sammy to death. I agree. I like Samik now. No, he didn't, I said quietly. I wasn't scared at all. Just a little surprised. Why are you always picking on Sammy? Buzzy asked him. Robin laughed. He knows why. Okay, sit down, guys. He motioned with both hands. We've had our fun time. Fun time? That's what he calls fun time? Let's get down to business, Robin said. Samik and Todd dropped back into the couch. Standing there in the wet jeans, I didn't know what to do or where to go. Awkward. My legs felt sticky. I couldn't shut out the sour smell. I thought I said salt for a second. I'm a pause. I need a drink. Okay, so hi. Wait, let me say something real quick. I hope y'all are having an awesome day. I hope y'all are having an awesome Halloween. I hope y'all will have an awesome Halloween. What should I do? Just go home? No, that's what Robin wanted. Holding my breath from the sick odor, I sat back down in the chair. Robin grabbed the last piece of slice from the box. Then he dropped himself off over the arm of the red chair across from me. It's your genius idea, Buzzy, he said. Why don't you explain it to everyone? Buzzy explained his idea. We get a bunch of ghost hunting equipment. EMF meter, full spectrum cam, EV. Hold on. My breath was running low because I was drinking soda and a burp was coming up. That's why I kinda interrupted. I'm sorry. EVP recorder. We go to Marple House on Halloween night. We stay there all night collecting proof that the house is haunted. Next week, we present our report to Miss Flake and we all get A's. I felt a chill at the back of my neck. Buzzy made it sound so simple, but he left out the important detail. We were trying to find a ghost. What if there really was a ghost in Marple House? Ghosts aren't always friendly. If ghosts were friendly, there wouldn't be so many terrifying ghost stories. That's so true. I swarmed in a chair, my legs still sticky inside the wet jeans. Was I the only one who thought about this? I decided not to say anything. I know I'm not reading too fast. I can hear myself. It's like a normal type speed is how Fruit Loops reads. She reads too fast. I tell I can't process. If you can't process it, then just like record the parts you can't process and put them in slow-mo. Because I can tell Fruit Loops when she's reading too fast. She can tell me when I'm reading too fast. But, so just put it in slow-mo, but I'm trying my best not to read fast. I decided not to say anything. I didn't want to be the first to sound scared. Todd tilted a Coke can to his mouth and took a long drink. He crushed the can in his hand and heaved it at Buzzy. How do we know Marple House is really haunted? He said. Then he burped loudly for nearly a minute. Everyone knows it's haunted, Buzzy said. I only moved here 2 years ago, and the first thing I learned about this town was that Marple House is haunted. It's haunted by the ghost of a boy, right? Sammy said. People who live on that block hear him screaming late at night. I hope no one in that room saw me shiver. If the ghost boy screamed a lot at night, he probably didn't want company. I heard he was hit by a lightning bolt, Todd said. Zap! He swung his hand down hard and smacked the chair arm. It was a big thunderstorm. The lightning burned him up totally. His family was away. When they got home, they couldn't find him. He had completely burned to nothing. Is that even possible? No ashes? Sammy said. Todd shook his head. They never found a trace of him, Buzzy said. The family was so heartbroken they moved to another town as fast as they could. They didn't realize they were leaving his ghost behind. The boy's ghost had been trapped in that house ever since. And late at night, he screams for his parents, who never come. Now that's as sad as heck. I made a gulping sound. I didn't mean to. It just slipped out from my throat. When I looked up, everyone was staring at me. Are you too scared to do this? Robin asked. Scared? No way, I said. I think it's an awesome plan. I love it. It's going to be the most amazing Halloween ever. I can't wait. I'll go in first and if you want me to. I gazed at Summer. Was she buying my lies? Did she believe me? No way I'm going to show up on Halloween night, I told myself. What if the ghost boy wants revenge or something? What if he locks us in the house and... I didn't want to think about it. I just knew I would not be joining this group for a night in the haunted house. Everyone was still staring at me. Luckily, there was a voice in the stairwell, followed by footsteps, and they all turned to see who was coming down. Misty Rogers appeared, breathing hard, her hair wired around her face, her cheeks red. Sorry I'm late, she said, trying to smooth down her tangles of wavy black hair with both hands. So I knew Robin had black hair. I knew he had dark hair like me. We all laughed. You see, Misty is always late for everything, and she never has a good reason. She just runs on a slower clock than the rest of the world. What did I miss? She asked, pulling off her coat and tossing it over the air hockey table. She wore a red sweatshirt over her faded jeans. Everything, Summer told her. Misty lifted the lid on the empty pizza box and peered inside. I see I missed a pizza too. She lowered herself to the floor and leaned her back against the coffee table. I heard we're going ghost hunting. We're going to prove that there's a ghost in Marple House, Buzzy said, and we're all going to get A's. Missy scrunched up her face. Ew! What's that smell? It's Sammy, Robin said. He had an accident. Missy squinted at him, holding her nose. I did not, I cried. It was Robin's cat. I said my dad has a lot of professional ghost detecting equipment I can borrow, Sammy said. I know he has an EMF meter and a portable motion sensor. And I think he has a remote digital thermometer we can use to see when the ghost makes the room temperature go down. What a big coincidence! I think not. That's awesome, Buzzy says. Is he really into ghost hunting? He was He was for about 10 minutes, Sammy Baker replied. Then he switched to UFOs. The ghost hunting equipment just sits in the closet. Perfect, Robin said. How cool is this? We won't have to make our own equipment. Everyone started talking at once. They were all totally excited about Buzzy's haunted house idea. My mind was spinning. I was trying to decide which excuse I would use to get out of going with them on Halloween night. Should I come down with the flu or some mysterious illness? Should I have to visit my cousins in another city? Should I say my parents needed me to help clean the basement? Which excuse will everyone believe? None. I was still trying out excuses in my mind when the meeting broke up. It was nearly dinner time. We all stampeded up the stairs. I couldn't wait to get home and get out of these smelly cat pee jeans. Someone stepped up beside me as I made my way down the gravel driveway to the street. Robin is so mean to you, she said. He's really awful. He was absent the week we had that unit about bullying, I said. He thinks it's still cool. I was kind of making a joke, but she didn't laugh. We stopped at the bottom of the driveway. Are you really going to come Halloween night? She asked. You know Robin will probably do something horrible to scare you to death. I shrugged. I can handle Robin. Her eyes stared at me. I stared back at her. I'll be there Halloween night, I said. No way I'd miss it. We'll see who's brave and who isn't. She nodded. I still couldn't tell if she believed me or not. A cold breeze shook the trees. I sent my coat to my top, then shoved my hands into the pockets. Well, bye, she said, the longest conversation we'd had in 3 years. We headed off in different directions. That night was when the nightmares began. Hola, la chicas, and I forgot how to say men in Spanish. La chica means girl. Sorry. That night I dreamed I was inside Marple House. I stood in the bare room of a dark wood floors and olive green walls. No furniture. It was daytime. A slender beam of sunlight washing through a single dust-smeared window. So this story is pretty good. And a boy stood stiffly in front of the window, his face hidden in the shadow. I was standing close enough to reach out and touch him. He took a step out of the shadow, and I could see his empty eye sockets. His eyes were missing. Under the deep holes in his face, his mouth twisted in a menacing scowl. I turned away. I couldn't bear to look at him. Wave after wave of panic rolled down my body. I shut my eyes and whisked myself out of there. I knew I was dreaming. I struggled to raise myself, to pull myself up from the ugly dream, away from the boy with no eyes. But no, when I turned back, I was still in that narrow room, still standing across from the scowling boy, trapped in the dream, unable to escape it. But then the boy stuck his arm straight out, as if reaching for me. He staggered toward me. Closer. Closer. I woke up drenched in sweat. I blinked myself awake, struggled to force the terrifying picture of the eyeless ghost boy from my mind. My hands ached from squeezing the bedsheet so tightly. My throat felt raw and sore. Had I been screaming? I stood up and stretched my hands above my head. I took a deep breath. Only a dream. Only a dream. I murmured out loud. It was only a dream. But I knew one thing for sure. I was not going to spend Halloween night in Marple House. No way. The dream was a warning, and I always listened to warnings. I dropped back onto the edge of my bed. I knew what I had to do. I had to tell Mom and Dad about this scheme. I had to tell them the plan to go to ghost hunting all night in that old abandoned house. No way they would ever let me do it. Too dangerous. Too frightening. My parents know me. They know it wouldn't be good for me. They know how much I would hate staying in the house. They know how scared I would be. I should have realized right from the beginning. My parents would save me. My parents would give made the excuse I needed to not go through this horrible plan. I felt better already. I settled back on my bed. I couldn't get to sleep, but I didn't care. My worries were over. At breakfast, I told Mom and Dad about the overnight ghost hunt. Do you believe they want to stay all night in Marple House? I said. No parents. No one there to watch over us all night in that freezing cold abandoned house. Can you believe that? Mom stood across the table at me. Dad lowered his coffee mug. They exchanged glances. That's wonderful! Mom exclaimed. A smile spread over Dad's face. He usually never smiles in the morning. He hates mornings. Great idea, he said. I'm proud of you, Sammy, Mom said. Proud that you want to do something so brave. We know how frightened you are at Halloween time. Time to get over those silly fears. Well, I started. Know what? Dad said, still smiling. You can take out GoPro camera, but you can capture a lot of ghosts with it. I can't wait to see what you come up with. I can't wait to see what you come back with. Go, Sammy, Mom chanted. Go, Sammy. I'm so impressed. A whole new you. Oh wow, I didn't expect that. Go, Sammy, Mom said. Go right into the haunted house and stay all night. Go find a terrifying ghost. Have fun. Mom and Dad had big smiles on their faces, even though they were sending me to my doom. There was no way I could beg them to say no. No way I could plead with them to keep me home. For the next week, I lived in fear. I had terrifying nightmares every night. But let me tell you the truth. The nightmares weren't half as scary as what happened to me Halloween night in that haunted house. Hey, guess what? Part 1 is over. Well, not part 1. This is part 2, but I'm talking about part 1 of the book. We reached part 2, Halloween night. So, this is part 2 of part 1. And this next video will be part 1 of part 2. Alright, bye.